कस्तूरी तिलकं ललाटपटले वक्षस्थले कौस्तुभम् नासाग्रे नवमौक्तिकम् करतले वेणुकरे कंकणम् सर्वांगे सर्वांगे हरिचन्दनं सुलालितम् कन्ते च गोपस्त्री परिवेष्टिता विजयाते गोपाल छोरा मानी साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री
everyone. Good to see you all here, and thank you for joining in. I normally don't say much, but this time I just have to share. You see the 3 hibiscus flowers at the front, and somehow there's always 3 out in the morning. So I have 1 bush of hibiscus, and pretty much every day there's 3 flowers there. I thought that would be nice to share. Let's just go together, bow down, a humble down with our Agnya on the earth, and then raise our Kundalini and put ourselves in Bandhan. Shri Mataji, Shri Mataji, Namo Namah. Om Tameva Sakshat, Shri Kalki Sakshat, Shri Adi Shakti Mataji, Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namah. will play a talk of Shri Mataji now, and I just keep the same format as last week, and say goodbye to you here now before the talk, so that we can go, after that go straight into silence for about 10 to 15 minutes silence, and then you can just finish off in your own time. So thank you for being here and for the beautiful vibrations that you bring, and have a wonderful day.
Shuddhi Chakra. Now, when we have our Vishuddhi problems, we have to know what are the deities on both the sides and what were their qualities which are lacking in us. That's why we are suffering. Let's see the right side, Vishuddhi, when we catch. Shri Krishna's essence is sweetness, madhurya. Madhurya. And his power was Radha. Ra is energy, Dham is the one who has sustained the energy. And her power was, she was called as Ahlad. Ahlad means joy-giving qualities she had. So Shri Krishna's qualities were that he was Yogeshwara, so he was the witness, and sweetness. Now a person who shouts and screams and talks loudly and loses his temper in a very loud voice, or who speaks very loudly all the time, they all suffer from the right Vishuddhi. So one should understand that even when you have to scold somebody, you have to just say, what are you doing? Why are you doing like this? Otherwise, why did you, like this? Finished, right Vishuddhi, over. It's finished now. So for the right Vishuddhi, we use the mantra of Vithala and Rakhumai, these two persons. You see, it is very significant, that also. Because they say that there was a Pundarikaksh, one boy, who was serving his parents. And his parents were sleeping, he was pressing their feet. When Vithala and his power, Rakhumai, Rukmini, they appeared in the door. But he said, now keep quiet. My parents are sleeping, so you stay there. So he had one brick near him which he threw and asked them, you stay on that. So they kept quiet. They kept quiet because they are sleepy. Now this is the thing. On the right side, if you are talking loudly, if you talk too much, if you intimidate people with your talking, then you catch on right Vishuddhi. So for that, best is to take some rest and give some rest to your right Vishuddhi by stopping your talk. Go into mauna, they said, just don't talk. For some time if you don't talk, you will see that your Vishuddhi will be improved, your problems will be improved. So as it is the right side, what happens is that the heat starts coming from the stomach. It's all in one play. You can say not from the stomach, but actually from the liver. The heat starts rising. It first goes into right heart. As a result, you might become a very hot-tempered husband or a father or something. You might get asthma, anything with that right heart. Then it passes on to your right Vishuddhi. When it goes to your right Vishuddhi, then you become a very irritable, hot-tempered person. All the time you shout at someone. Nobody can talk to you. If somebody has to talk to you, he has to use a barge pole in between. God knows what time he'll shout at you. Or maybe I've seen many women lose their hearing or men lose their hearing when there's somebody who is shouting at them. So shouting is a very bad thing for others and also for yourself. Because of course your Vishuddhi goes out, after some time your voice goes out, after some time you cannot talk, and sometimes they have to just keep quiet. But for others, it's even worse. Because if you use your anger in that manner, then that person might be just frightened of you, might develop inferiority complex, might become a left-sided person, might catch some boots. God knows what can happen to a person who has somebody all the time shouting at him. But the worst physical thing could be that he can become deaf. So, from Sri Krishna's life, one has to learn that how he would just play his flute and the whole atmosphere used to become absolutely quiet, without any ripple of any trouble, any idea of disturbance, just peaceful. But in modern times, the other way now. They have the music where the right Vishuddhi is about to break or burst, I don't know what sort of music it is. When they listen to this music, see, then it excites. Then it excites you. It doesn't make you peaceful. It excites you more and more. But as Sri Krishna becomes Virata, your limbic area also gets numbed with it. And when this shouting music is too much, then they have to use loudspeakers and shout much more. Then they have to put something near the ear to hear something. Otherwise, they have no excitement. All the exciting, we can say, all the exciting cells become numbed. And you have to really go in for tremendous effort to create that excitement in those numbed cells. So it's very dangerous throughout. If you see that it starts from the liver, goes to the right heart, then to Vishuddhi, and then in the brain. So then you take to drugs, because your brain is numbed out. So you take to drugs, and when you take to drugs, then you feel that you are all right. Then again, you feel that this drug is not sufficient, then you take stronger drugs, then you take more drugs. It goes on one after another. Ultimately, it reaches a stage when you are nowhere. So it is all self-destructive. I am also using my right Vishuddhi too much. So on the right Vishuddhi, you have to learn to have mauna, means silence. Those who think, who are very dominating, who are talking in a very dominating manner, whose right Vishuddhi is catching, should become silent and should, at least for some time, should not talk at all. Maybe you might fix one day, say you can do it on say, I'll not talk on Monday. But supposing Monday you have to work, so you should say, I'll not talk on Sunday. But human beings are such that if they decide they will not talk on Sunday, then Sunday they'll talk the most. And this shouting and then intimidating people, you have no right. You have no business to shout at anyone whatsoever. What is the need to shout? After all, you are a human being, another one is a human being. God has not given anyone, whether it is a husband, wife, children or anyone. But I find these days even children shout The mother shouts, the father shouts. If you go in the house, you feel like running back because you'll hear nothing but shouts. So this kind of a family system will rock, completely finish that family, and there will be no beautiful relationship between each other and between the other people. Sometimes you can say the whole country is having nothing but shouting at one and shouting at another. All over you go, you find nothing but shouting. Even if you take your car a little bit this side, there will be a shouting. For the slightest excuse, they start shouting and spoiling their right to shooting. Now, for politicians, they think it's the best way to shout because they can really impress people by their shouts. So they shout a lot, tell people this, that. When they speak, you should hear there's no sweetness in their tongue, nothing of the kind. But they shout, and by shouting, a person gets frightened. All right, you want the vote, we'll give you, but don't shout. That's how many people get elected and become big and think that they are very successful because they have been shouting. Then they have training for shouting, and they go in for a higher and higher education in shouting. How to shout, how to intimidate people by the loud voices. For Sahaja Yogis, it doesn't behove. Sahaja Yogi has to be a very sweet person. Extremely sweet. Now,